What's up, everybody? Welcome back to One More Round, episode 10. On this week's show, I sit down with UFC Bantamweight star Adrian Yanez. Adrian is one of the most exciting fighters on the roster. He's one of the most technical and brilliant minds in the sport. We talk about his upbringing, highlights of his career, and break down some of the most highly anticipated fights. He gives us an insight on his life, future matchups for him, and gives us a glimpse of what's next in his career. He's one of the most humble people I've met, and I think you guys will enjoy this hour-long interview. Please remember to like, subscribe, and share so we can get other fighters on the show. Enjoy. All right. Today I'm joined by a very special guest. He needs no introduction, but we're going to give him one anyways. He's a UFC fighter with an impressive record of 17-6. Many consider him one of the best boxers in the sport. He's a black belt in jiu-jitsu, a coach, and a father. In 2022, his knockout of Tony Kelly made it to the top 10 KOs of the year. He's never been in a boring fight. He's a stud in and out of the cage, and he's gracious enough to join the show. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Adrian Yanez.
Oh shit, hey bro, that was fucking awesome, man. Thank you
man.
for that one, man. That was fucking dope. I was like,
Thank you.
hey, I like it. I like it, man. I
Hey, man.
run it back, run it back.
You're right. Hey,
No,
you
man.
can clip that. You can clip that news as much as you want.
No, man.
All
How
right,
you
but
doing? Doing good?
yeah, man, doing good. I've only been in Texas for about a year, so I still hate your guys' weather. I'm from San Diego, so
Ah,
California.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. So you're still, but are you like, so you're like San Antonio, like Central Texas, pretty much? Then,
yeah,
yeah, it gets much worse at in Houston. Like with
yeah,
the frequency of the weather, and then also like the humidity that we had to deal with. I'd prefer San Antonio, like San Antonio weather, but Houston's my home, man. Like it again, there's nothing that comes second to it to me in my eyes, but I love it here, but the weather is just trash, man. It's so terrible. And I was about to give you a compliment too. I was like, man, you got the Bucky's Beaver behind you, and I was like, oh shit, like, hey, this guy's a real Texan over here, man. You've been here for a year, and
yeah, man.
it's already corrupted your system. I feel that.
It
I
got
love
me.
it.
I don't have a cowboy hat or cowboy boots yet though, so I'm trying to
Hey,
try not
man.
give in yet.
No, no, no. You started off with Bucky's. A lot of people don't know what Bucky's is. So
Yeah, I did.
that's everybody thinks of Texas and they're like, oh yeah, no, the boots and the hat. Nah, it's the Bucky's.
It's a Buc-ee's, dude. Every time I come home or back home to San Diego, I always bring a bag full of jerky and whatnot just to
Oh
let my
yeah.
homies know what's up. Cool.
Hell
But
yeah.
yeah, so before we get started though, are there any sponsors that you want to shout out or mention? Feel free to do so.
Oh yeah. None right now, man. Everybody pulled right out.
Bastards. All
I
right, dude,
know,
no
right?
worries. All right, man. So we'll start off. I did some research on you. I saw that you used to be a meter reader for the city,
Oh
and
yeah.
I'm curious, dude, how did you land upon that job?
Man, so honestly, I was looking for a job in the public works department. Uh like I had a friend that worked for the city of Deer Park, and I was talking to him, and he's been there for like he's been there for years and years and years. So best friend, I was like, hey, like I was doing a coach, I was coaching, but again my father had just passed away, so like I had to like pull my weight in making sure that like I started getting money, healthcare, all this other stuff, and was looking for jobs left and right. And then pretty much I saw job openings for the city of Deer Park, and I was like, all right. I heard about their benefits, and like, man, just your typical like great benefits. Like they treat their workers right and all that stuff. So talked to him. He put in a word for me. Like he put in a word for me. And it started off like me doing an interview with the public works people. And then uh, I didn't have the right qualifications. They had somebody else that they wanted to hire, but they ended up pushing my name to the meter reader department, and I didn't know what it was, you know. And pretty much I just got like I did the interview and they hired me, and right after that it was just like wow, it was a really cool cool job in a sense of like the workers that I was able to work with. My coworkers were amazing. my boss was amazing. The actual work itself, kind of sucked. It was a little bit tedious, but the part that I hated the most about it was the shut off days. Shut off days, man. Hated it because everybody knew like this, like everybody in the city don't like us in general, the meter readers. They did not like us whatsoever because it was just like, yeah, like if you don't pay your water bill, we're the people that you see, and we're turning your water off and all that stuff. So it's like, yeah, like they loved everybody else but us.
That's funny.
like the like the sanitation station, like they get like they'll get gift cards. They'll get like people randomly coming out like, here, man, here, take this, take this. But as a meter reader, man, everybody just as soon as they walk outside, they see you. It's just a mean mug all the time. It's hilarious. It was hilarious. But yeah, that's how I stumbled upon that job. I just needed to get I needed to pull my weight around the house, because my dad had passed. So I that's literally how it came about.
And was that your first job?
No, that was well, I would say consider it my third, because at right after I graduated, I went straight working into the plants. If you're around the Houston area, the refineries are like Houston's like full of refineries, so and chemical plants. So it was just a simple, just me just going in. I was only there for 3 months, and then just was like, it's not like I had no joy doing it. Like the bank account looked really nice at that time,
Yeah.
but I just wasn't happy. I didn't want to do it and quit. Ended up getting hired on as a coach. As a coach at the gym that I'm at, like Metro Fight Club. So that and then that was the next job was me coaching, and then again right after that, that was like my next job afterwards was with the meter reader stuff.
Okay, cool. So I know in other interviews you said that fighting, you're all in on it. You're gonna ride it out till the wheels fall off. Is there anything that you think you'd be doing if you weren't fighting? Like, have you stumbled across anything that piques your interest, or you kind of think, all right, maybe this is what I'd want to get into?
Man, honestly, I'd probably go work in the plants just because of the money, but yeah, that's about it. There's nothing else that really kind of piqued my interest. Like I like uh Yeah, there's not much. If anything, I'd probably be try welding a shot, because I remember I did it in high school, and that was like one of my favorite activities. It was either going into bodybuilding class, or going to welding, and those were my two favorite. Because I was never like a behind the desk type of guy, so I would sit there and just like paper like all these papers, all these tests, all these reviews. And I'm just like, I'd be able to do it, but it was just tedious to me, and I hated it. Like I hated sitting at a desk, for a whole hour, then switching to another desk for a whole ass hour, like going from class to class. Like this wasn't me. So it'd probably be welding.
Yeah, man, I feel you. I work behind a desk, and there's no fulfillment in that. All right. Oh no,
Well,
go ahead.
well, it's like, well, shoot, like, but even then, like, whenever I was working in the plants, like, there was no fulfillment there either, man. I was outside most of the time checking for leaks and like making sure that like there wasn't no big leakage going on, like certain valves and all that stuff. So that was tedious. I was outside, like, they don't know this. It's already been over like 10 years already since I worked there, but I used to have my headphones in, listening to music, just going, like, walking around, checking and all that stuff. So yeah, like it was tedious work, and it wasn't fulfilling. Even though the bank account like was getting filled up, like I don't know, I just didn't fit this didn't fulfill the soul.
Yeah, man, I feel you. All right. So you mentioned your son a couple times in different interviews.
Mhm.
What's one thing fatherhood has taught you?
Ooh, patience.
Yeah.
Patience for sure. And also like for me, like kind of growing up a certain way, like there's always room for growth. Like you're not like room for growth. It's patience and the room for growth, because like you need the patience to grow. So that's one thing is definitely has taught me, because there's moments where I'm just sitting back, like I want to kill the kid, but at the same time, like, man, I was like, like I wouldn't touch a soul, like I wouldn't touch a hair, like I wouldn't. Like, man, I wouldn't like. Oh man, like I love the kid so much, man. But damn, man, there's those moments where you're just sitting back, like, ooh. But yeah, every parent knows that moment. Like, uh, but man, like I wouldn't have it any other way. There's days where I've come home super exhausted from training. He's there. It brightens my day up so much. Yeah. So it's definitely patience and growth.
That's beautiful, man. And then, do you think you'll ever have like one of those Donald Cerrone moments where he brings his kid into the octagon at the end of I think it was against what, Mike Perry? The guy
Man,
brought him in, lifted him up there. You ever gonna
man,
have him at your fights?
I don't know. I've only had him at my fights once, and that was in UFC Austin. Oh no, twice. UFC Austin, then UFC Miami. Uh, he could like I'd definitely be okay with him going. For sure. Like especially like for me, like he wasn't really there to kind of recognize UFC Austin. Like he was like 6 months old at that time,
Mhm.
and then UFC Miami, like he was like a year. But it was cool because I was able to take him with me to UFC Miami, and like we spent an extra couple of days there, and having some good quality time in the vacation. So that to me was like the coolest part. So, yeah, I would probably be taking him a lot more places. I just need to get him his passport so we can start going all over the world.
That's dope. All right, speaking of that,
Mhm.
what places would you want to travel to, or have you been to that's your favorite?
Oh man, favorite places. I'd probably want to go to Brazil. I want to definitely go to Brazil one day. I'm gonna be going to Mexico City here pretty soon. Actually within a couple days of this interview. So,
Oh shit,
uh,
nice.
but I do want to go fight. I do want to go fight overseas. I would like to go to China. I think that would be a pretty cool place to go fight, or visit. Either one. I would like to go to Thailand. Just your typical fighter spots.
Yeah,
Where everybody wants to go. So, yeah, I think that'd be dope.
yeah. I've been to Thailand before. Thailand's a cool spot, dude. Pretty cheap too.
Oh yeah, that my Muay Thai coach tells me all the time. He's like, everybody needs to at least go once. I was like, yep, I feel like I needed to go. He loved it over there. It was super cheap. He was like, yeah, you go to this place, go to this place, so cheap. He's like, oh, all right, cool.
Yeah, man. I get stayed at a 5-star hotel right on the beach for like $50 a night.
Oh shit. Oh
Yeah, dude,
damn.
it's pretty sick. But
Yeah.
yeah, sweet. All right. Well, speaking of Mexico, I don't know if you saw yesterday, Raul Rosas Jr. posted that he's looking for a fight at Mexico City. Are you down or what? March 29th.
Hey, anybody can get it. Honestly, at this point, I've been trying to get a fight book for a while, so it is what it is. Uh, yeah, man. I saw him I saw him in San Antonio, not like
Fury FC, yeah?
not too long. Not UFC, not UFC. It
No,
was
Fury FC,
yeah,
no?
Fury
Yeah.
FC. Yeah, saw him that night. I think his brother had ended up pulling out. I think he got sick or something. But stuff happens. But yeah, nah. Anybody, honestly, I'm not picky. I'm not the one calling the shots or anything like that. I'm at this point in time, especially after that last one. After that last one, I have no right. I have no room to be like, oh, I want this fight. I want
Yeah.
that fight. The only thing I can say is like, hey, like I want to fight and I want to fight soon. You know.
All right. So, speaking of your last fight, right?
Mhm.
Round one, you get
Yeah.
double poked in the eye, kicked in the nuts.
Yeah.
This past weekend,
Yeah.
Henry Cejudo got eye fucked by Sang Yadong. What do you
Yeah.
think they should do about eye pokes? Because I know they warn you backstage to say, do this, not this. What do you
Yeah.
think they should do? To point right away or not?
Well, well, I would probably say my case and Cejudo's case are a little bit different. For me, it was like 2 for 1. That's how it was kind of treated. Like it was like, oh, he got fouled twice, but we're only gonna just treat it like it was just the one foul. And I felt like that was kind of like a little bit like looking back at it now, it's like it's a little bit it's I don't know. Like I just don't think it works. I just don't think it should work that way. It was two different fouls. It might have been within a split second it all happened, but it was two different fouls. I got kicked in the cup and then I got poked in the eye. That sucked. Uh, but like I can understand from Cejudo's point as well too, because on my end, like that distorted my vision pretty badly. Like I could see. Don't get me wrong, I could see, but it was like blurred because I'll go on a rant on this. Like she was such a sweet lady, but she made like I think she's also the reason why the fight that Kobe Covington fight got stopped. Uh, but she was such a nice lady backstage, and then just like but she just trying to wipe. I was trying to get the like trying to wipe my eye, trying to get the Vaseline out my eye, but by the time the time was over, like I couldn't. Like she was trying to hold on to it. Like I was having to maneuver myself like to adjust to her hand because she couldn't let go of the little towel, the little gauze that she had. I'm like, so that really it was really annoying me. So like, I couldn't really get into my eye the way I wanted to. So there's like my eye was definitely like the vision in my eye was definitely blurred. So for Cejudo to get like because I feel like his was worse. Mine, the reason why I couldn't see was because of the Vaseline, and what I didn't know they did is they put adrenaline in the Vaseline. So for me, it was just like, oh shit, it's burning, and then also I can't see, it's blurry. But for him, with the finger going in his eye that bad, I was like, that, uh, I can see why. Like if if you couldn't have seen within that, like if it took you the whole round though to see I don't know. I'm not in this position. It's weird. I go back and forth with stuff like this all the time. I go back and forth. Like in my head, it would have been a safer bet for him. Like after those 5 minutes were done, to be like, yeah, I really can't see. Instead of trying to write it out and try to write it out, that ultimately ended up having him lose the fight. I don't know. Like I didn't watch the fight, but I watched the actual like poke. I just remember after that time he continued to fight afterwards, and if it was that bad, he shouldn't have continued fighting.
Yeah. Yeah, it just kind of sucks because I'm saying I'll give you like my perspective from a casual fan, watching at home. So like everyone on Instagram calling him a quitter that he was trying to game the system, trying to request to get a point taken away. But the thing is, like, how do people blame the dude that got fouled? Because one,
Yeah,
we shouldn't even be in this position in the first place if a
yeah,
foul doesn't occur, right?
uh-huh.
So you go in there, right, dude? Your eyes and your nuts are probably the three most sensitive things on your body, right?
Uh-huh.
So you get poked in the eye right away, dude. Your vision's compromised. He says he can't even see him. This dude's coming in blitzing him the whole time. So I guess you have what 5 minutes. So in those 5 minutes, you're getting booed. Every minute that passes by, the fans are booing you because they want you to go out there. You're pressured by
Yeah,
them. If the fight gets canceled, you don't get your win bonus. So it's kind of a
yeah.
lose lose thing. But for whatever reason, the victim always gets blamed for it.
Oh, 100%. Like 100%. Like it's so stupid. Like I find it like I find it pretty stupid. Just in the fact like for me like I should have done a better job communicating to the ref before the fight about like for like and like, I'm just using myself as an example because I didn't do it. I should have brought it up to the ref beforehand, being like, "Hey, like the guy that I'm fighting, he has a tendency to foul people in their fights, and it's almost I think almost all of his UFC fights, he has at least like one foul in there, and then one got turned into a no contest because it was reasons because of a foul. So I should have done a better job of that, But on Cejudo's end, that was kind of like a like fuck. It wasn't him. Like I like again, yeah, I feel bad. He's the one that got the finger in the eye. Yet everybody's pointing at him, being like, "Oh, you're such a pussy." Like, nah, everybody wants you to ride it out, thug it out, but it's just like, nah, bro. It's his health at risk. Like everybody kind of looks back at that Anthony Smith fight with John Jones. Like I don't want that. like
Yeah.
like just start getting beat up for 5 rounds consistently. You've already been hurt, been bad. Like it's like no, bro. It's gonna it has. I think what there was a stat back. I remember there was a statistic that Dana White had said about fouls. Like people who continue to fight after the fouls are more likely to lose or more than likely lose. I think it was like 75% chance to lose than 25% of them winning. It was being vague on that because I'm not 100% sure. I just knew it was definitely over 50%, but it was just yeah. These like I also I'm also a part like to fuck. I also want to say that like man, like it's nobody outside really cares about how you are going to be after the fight. So at the end of the day, the fighter needs to make the best decision for themselves, for their health. You know, the paycheck and whatever that stuff, you know, they can worry about that later. They're gonna get paid at least half of what there's like. Well, like the way I think about it, you're walking in, your show money is the money that you're gonna is the money you're fighting for. The extra is the bonus, you know. So that's where you got to look at it sometimes. Uh, but yeah, fight for your health. Don't like man if it don't fight for the extra money, man. I know people get in tough spots, but don't fight for the money, man. Don't risk your health because fucker almost went blind.
Yeah, yeah, man. Some insightful stuff right there. All right, so just speaking on your career, I noticed you don't have a nickname. Is that intentional, or you just haven't come up with anything?
You know, there's been some that kind of been ran around. Freaking these guys at MMA Junkie, they continue wanting me to be the Mantequilla just because I like we had a conversation about it, and there's like there's a lot of people that like the Mister Knockout. There's a lot of people that like different names for me. Jens Pulver gave me his little even one a while back ago. I I would just feel like a man, like to take Jens Pulvers, like I don't know, it just doesn't feel right. There's only one little evil, and I can't take that away. I know he would have gave it to me, but I personally I can't do it. He's too much of a legend, you know. It's high expectations, and then but yeah, for me the nickname is hasn't really ever been like I need it thing because like my whole entire life, everybody's just always called me Yanez, like for the longest time. You know, not even Yanez, it's like Yanez, like Adrian. Like people find out my name is Adrian, like Adrian. You know, it's usually Yanez whenever everybody calls me.
That's funny. Yeah, they do. I mean, they do a lot in the military. I know your dad was in what, all three branches, or
Yeah,
three out of
yeah.
the four branches.
Three ranchers. He was a Navy, Army, and Marines in that exact order. Yeah, fucking loved it.
Yeah, that's cool. I was in the Navy too, so that's why I saw that and I was like, oh, that's pretty dope. Dope on his part.
Yeah, yeah. He did one service. He loved all of them, but his favorite was the Marines. His
Yeah,
favorite was the Marines.
that's sick. All right. So, out of all the fights that you've had, which one would you say is your personal favorite?
Man, my personal favorite. Mm,
Yeah, like just kind of like the backstory that maybe people don't know about, just kind of how you felt that day, any adversity you went through in camp. Which one would you say is like, damn, I overcame all this, and or just the satisfaction of, damn, I can't believe I won this fight.
man, I'd probably have to say it was the Davy Grant fight. That fight. There's a lot of fights that like come to my mind. That come to mind with this. Like the Davy Grant one for sure is high up there. Uh, the Tony Kelly one maybe because of the like everything that went on, but there's fights before where like the one with Kyle Estrada back in LFA, my last regional fight. Mm, but yeah, the one for Davy Grant was the one for me. Well, I'll probably give it like like give it range over everything just because of the fact that like I I had just lost my coach trying to go through a training camp. Uh, a lot of my training partners, you know, were like leaving the gym. You know, like there's like we're like got to the point where we were having to call people to come in, and it was like our training partners that left or like didn't leave. They just I don't know. It's just this weird thing that went on. Uh, you know, just so I could get some help, you know, training because all I had was a technical striker and Cameron Smotherman or a wrestler like a wrestler in Rafian Stott. So I had nobody. Like I had for what I needed, I had nobody. Like Davy Grant wasn't going to wrestle, and he wasn't going to throw technical the way Cameron Smotherman does, so it's like it just was not the like it just wasn't a good like it wasn't a great camp at all. But just I was trying to manage through it, also trying to coach other fighters, trying to make sure that I was doing my own, like getting my reps in while making sure everybody else got their reps in, because man, like everybody had everybody like a month or two before had fights, so I had to make sure they were getting their stuff in. And it was just it was a whole shit show, because I was trying to restructure like like times for training, trying to do lot of things while still managing, trying to coach these guys. And by that time my son was close to being born. uh I was trying to buy a house because I wasn't gonna be raising my son in my mom's house. Like, like I had to have a place, so there was just a lot of stuff going on during that time, and still dealing with the death of my coach at that time. Like I just like everything got put on the back burner. And then whenever I got to the fight week, like there's a couple times where that last week, uh, that Thursday night, whenever I was cutting the rest of my weight, man, there's a couple times I almost passed out. I almost passed out. Just it was just a terrible weight cut. It was just not good. Like it got to the point where I felt like I had like bubbled ears, like muffled and everything. It was just bad. And I go just to go in there and fight, against a tough vet like him, and able to get the decision. That was a pretty cool moment. But my ear still, like one thing I do remember about that fight, it was my ear hurting like a motherfucker.
Damn. So speaking of the weight cut though, do you ever see yourself moving up to 45 or not?
No, no, but I do understand now, like what older people have been telling me for the longest about my dieting and my eating and all that stuff, and making sure that I'm like I stay in a like healthy conscious sense, because like bro, like like I have one off day, my weight will be like at 156, and it'll shoot up to 162 by the next day. I'm like, what the fuck just happened? So it's just a lot, man. So I had to make sure that I'm doing some type of clean eating, and making sure that I'm not like overdoing it. But I I'm trying. I would love to stay at 45. No, not 35. My bad, 35. I would love to stay at 35. I feel it's a tough division. Like 45 is a tough division too, but I feel like at 35 I'm be more prime and more optimal.
Sweet. And then would you prefer fighting in at the Apex or in an arena?
Oh, I love fighting in an arena. Like
Yeah.
like the energy that people give whenever you're there. Oh my, they're just, I can't explain it. It as soon as you walk out, like it's just the energy. Uh the one that made me happy was the UFC Austin, because that was my first time ever, and like just I knew the right song. It was against the right person, and just everything, like walking out, I could feel the ground shaking. That's how crazy it was. Like that one was nuts, and yeah, it was cool.
Hell yeah. I was there for your UFC Tampa. And I mean, I'm not just saying that because you're here, but you definitely had like one of the biggest pops, like as soon as you came out.
Hmm.
So it was my girlfriend's first UFC event. And then she goes, "Oh, you been on this fight?" And I'm like, "Nah, but this is the guy from Texas that was telling you, like, what that we came for." And then as soon as you come out, dude, Kendrick Lamar's TV off. I was
Oh
like,
yeah.
I was like, son of a bitch. Anybody comes out to the song, I got a bet on them, right? So I was like,
Yeah.
I can pull out my phone real quick. I was like, son of a bitch, here we go. And
My bad
then,
though.
nah, you good, dude. I mean, I saw a thing that you always tell what, fuck your parlays.
Oh yeah.
You gotta get
Yeah.
that on a
No,
t-shirt.
no, that's a like I feel bad, like again, like someone like you, like you're not in the DMs being like, nah, fuck you, motherfucker. Or like, yeah, not like those are the guys who I'm really talking about. Like the guys who go into the DMs and just automatically start trying to talk shit, go into the comments, start talking shit. Like those are the guys, man, if you go out there, you bet on me, you make some money, cool. Hey, cool. Like the chances of gambling and all that stuff, like my homie, the homie JT, JT Lines on Instagram and on Twitter, and he's one of those guys, man. He's 100% like he's back. He could be out there be talking shit to me because I lost him some money, but he's fucking riding. He's a homie. Same thing with you, man. Shit, fuck, like you ain't a hater about it. You're not like fuck you. You costing me $5, motherfucker. Doing that shit. So, uh, yeah. It's still all love, I hope y'all win y'all's money back somehow or get it back.
Yeah, I actually bet all of our rent money. So
Oh
no, I
fuck.
say no, no. I just play. Nah. All right, but speaking of that song though,
Yeah,
I seen on Instagram you've been posting a lot of Kendrick Lamar songs.
yeah.
You're obviously a big fan. What are your top 5 Kendrick Lamar songs?
Top five Kendrick Lamar. I will go. I like that. I love myself at number five. I do like. I do like humble. Put at number four. One that's been creeping up a lot. Like I had just heard it. Like I think it was like last year, and I can't believe it's like it just like I went so long without hearing it. Like I remember hearing the first part of that song, but the Baby Keem and Kendrick Lamar.
Oh, Family
Ah,
Ties.
there you go. I was hoping it wasn't a Drake song, like, cause I was like,
Yeah.
no, no, but yeah, no. But I was thinking of Mob Ties, but no, it's Family Ties. And honestly, as of right now, damn, that's a hard one because I really do love Euphoria. Euphoria really like I just love that song a lot. I actually like it more than Not Like Us, and then I do like I put TV Off at number one, but he has so many great songs. He has so many great songs on like To Pimp a Butterfly, the damn album. Uh Now kind of going back, the Mr. Morale album sounds way different from the first time I heard it.
Hmm.
But yeah, no, I like right now this whole GNX album is has been constantly on repeat. I'm just one of those people too that will revisit the song so many times that I have to take a week off of it just so I can get back like listening to it again. Like I yeah, I'm one of those guys who just like find something they love and they'll keep rewatching it, rehearing it as many times as possible. So yeah.
Yeah, man. He's going to Houston. Was in April,
Oh yeah. I'm not like it was like April.
like 26 or something. I don't know, making shit up, but yeah, he'll be
Yeah.
there in
I was
Houston.
looking at tickets and I was like, the 200s were nosebleeds. And I was like, oh shit, at the NRG Stadium. I'm like, damn,
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't
yeah,
know. I don't want to buy the resale either.
yeah. No, but I've seen him like I don't know 4 or 5 times perform. He's definitely if you've never seen him perform, I wouldn't miss out on that one.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Nah, I do man, I just can't wait to see what he does. I want him to drop that snippet. I want him to drop that whole like cuz I know he'll just keep teasing it for the longest. The snippet that he dropped along with that GNX for the GNX album. Yeah, for the
Mhm.
sneak peek and all that stuff. It wasn't even a sneak peek. It was like more like, hey, here,
Yeah,
I'm just promoting my album.
yeah, dude. That dude's a monster. Like, I mean, I guess I saw him when he was like, opening up for Drake, so he was
Uh
like
huh.
here, but now, dude, this dude's selling out of stadiums and whatnot. It's pretty
Oh yeah.
crazy.
Oh,
Uh,
absolutely, man. I love his music.
yeah, man. All right, so if I'm gonna lay out your next 3 fights,
Uh huh.
like then you tell me what you think about it, and then you tell me what your next 3 fights should be. So I'm gonna say either run it back with Marcos, get back because you said you wanted it for Christmas,
Yeah.
or like I told you on Instagram against Cody Garbrandt, someone's gonna get dropped
Yeah.
for sure. Then after that, we get you in the top 15. Kyler Phillips at 12. Take that fight. Boom. And then get you in the top 10. Get it back against Rob Font. What do you
Oh
think?
yeah. All those. Yeah. 100%. All of those. They sound that sounds like an amazing route, man. I just know as of right now that Marcos one is kind of more like they. I don't think they would let it run it back at the moment. A couple more fights. I'd had to make myself undeniable and have uh like pretty much I'd had to have two fights. Like I think I'd had to like kind of erase that off the list a little bit and then go back to it. But yeah, I love that path. I love that path. It'd be
I
a
got you.
tough one, but I would love that path. Uh, At the moment, yeah, I have no idea who would be next or what. Um, I yeah, I have no idea who'd be next because all the guys who I wanted to fight because they called me out are booked. So it's like, uh, yeah, I don't know what to do. I just
So
kind of just sitting waiting.
yeah, how does that work though? So like you say like, oh, you've been looking for a fight, waiting to fight. I'm assuming you have a manager. You tell them,
Yeah,
hey, kind of just. Do you ever like, I want this type of matchup, or it's kind of like whatever they got for me, let's run it.
nah, like honestly, like if you have the right manager for you, uh, they'll do all that for you. Like the manager should be looking to get you the best fight possible for you, whether it's gonna either get you more money or have you a fight, like a good fight that's gonna mean something, uh like like for me, like again, like after that Martinez fight, it was like, hey, like you need to get yourself like a good solid win, and pretty much like they worked their magic and got me Vinicius. We're both on a 2 fight losing streak. Go out there, do what I did. But then the next fight was a step to get me where I wanted to be at. Even though it was a shorter notice, I felt like I could still, like, with the shorter camp, I still felt like I could beat Marcos. And stylistically, like, it was both of us, like, it was a good fight for both of us stylistically. So uh but yeah, like it just more along the lines for me, like hey, I just leave it all to my manager. Uh I'll give an input every once in a while, but my input's usually like, hey, this day won't work for me or that day won't work for me, and after that, that's about it. Like I'm just like, all right. So never turned down a fight. I think the only fight I've probably say, like, anybody's probably like I've turned down, if anything, is I told them that I couldn't do October. I think it was October 5th. I think that was like in Utah or Salt Lake City or something like that, wherever it
Mhm.
was. I just told them I couldn't do that date. I could do like a week after or like a month after because they asked me to fight Peyton Talbot on that day, and I was like, I can't because my daughter was due on early October, due date October 6th. But I was like, I'm not taking a chance on any of this because I have to be here. Uh, like I'm not missing this at all. So for me, I was like, I can't do October 5th, but I can do a month later, November MSG and all that stuff. Especially if it was gonna be paid, and it was just like it was a like it was. I felt like it was like, nah, like you can put us on Madison Square Garden for sure, like the both of us, like it's easy. But uh yeah, then after that, never heard back.
Damn.
That's why I was like, hey, I can't do that date, but I can do any other day. It's more of a time issue for me. It's not no to it's not no to him. It's a no to the date. And then after that, my phone went radio silent. I was like, okay, all right, whatever.
Damn. Well, congrats on your daughter though. Didn't know that about you, so
Oh yeah,
congrats.
she's fresh.
Hell yeah. All right, but I mean, we got. I don't know how much more time you got left. I mean, we're pretty
Oh yeah, we can
over
do
the
we
20.
got a couple. We can go a
All
couple.
right. All right, cool. All right. So we'll just kind of go quickly here.
Uh,
Ideally, how much time do you want to prepare for a fight? Like how many weeks out?
Ideally, I would love 8 weeks just because it's the standard that I'm already used to. 12 weeks is cool too, but I'm already kind of in a training mindset where I just need to tune a couple things. So even like 4 to 6 weeks is fine with me at this point. Like don't I would be pushing it closer to 6 just because of weight, just so it'd be easier to make weight. But other than that, yeah, and like I'd be able to step in like a month away, month and a half away. Like I ideally, like it wouldn't be ideal, but I would be able to fight this month or next month. No, March, like the end of March, beginning of April. For what it's worth. So quicker turnarounds. I just want to make sure I get a lot of fights.
All right, there you go, dude. YouTube community, get this dude on the Mexico City card. All right. What's the worst thing to cut out during fight camp?
Worst thing to cut out during fight camp. Ooh, yeah. Honestly, it's I'm already on my way to cutting a lot of this stuff out anyways, but like I am a glutton for for chips. Like I love chips. Like it doesn't like and I want spicy chips. I get hot Cheetos, hot Frito Lays, hot Lays, hot flaming hot Doritos. Like that that's just like I, I don't know. I grew up on it. It's just something that I loved always. So it's just one of those things where like I gotta have it. So that is one thing that I push away. And since like especially this after this last wake up, my wake up went fantastic. Is to the point where I'm like, you know what? I don't have this hunger for that anymore. So hey, that was a hard one for sure, but now it's a little bit easier to let go.
Okay. And what's your favorite go-to post-fight
Favorite,
meal?
and honestly, I've always had like it never seems to fail. Like I had I don't have a favorite. Like man, it just turns into one of those things where it's just like whatever's available and if I'm hungry, because a lot of times I'll be thinking it's like, man, right after this fight, I'm gonna go eat this, I'm gonna go eat this, I'm gonna go eat this. But then after I fight, and I like start settling down, like, all right, well, I'm cool with just like a snack. I'm cool. I really don't want to eat, but if I do, if I'm really craving something, I usually crave like a pizza or something like that. Nothing crazy.
All right, all right. All right, let me get your thoughts on these fights and just quick analysis on who you think wins. All right, 313, Alex Pereira versus Ankalaev.
Ooh, that is a good one. And if Ankalaev fights the way that he says he's gonna fight him and not just strike with him, I think Pereira walk off KO first round. Uh if he wrestles with him, like it'll change. Like I had to see the first exchange in that wrestling exchange, then I'd probably be like, oh, okay, that was either too easy or he had to work for it, and there's adjustments that can be made that Poitin still gets the victory. But yeah, I'm gonna just go. I'm gonna go Alex.
All right, Paddy Pimblett, Michael Chandler.
Oh yeah, that is if there if ah man that's a weird one style. Like anybody against Michael Chandler is a weird one stylistically. Like in a sense of like Michael Chandler just blitzes so much, and he does have like power in his hands. So I think that's the factor that Patty has to take into account. Patty does leave his chin very high. His grappling is legit. Uh, his striking needs to be worked. Like looks like he needs to be worked on, but he can also put some pop behind his punches. Uh, uh, yeah, I think I'm gonna go. Fuck, that is a good one. I might go Chandler by knockout.
Okay. Diego Lopez, Alexander Volkanovski.
Oh, fuck, that's a good one. Fuck, Volk is just so like he's so good, but it's like th- he gets dampened down because of his last two performances. You know, his performance against Taporia, then his performance against Islam. Both by KO. Head kick one, right hand overhand right by Taporia. So it's like seeing that I was like, and then right now Diego has all the momentum. His jiu-jitsu is really fucking good. Like he's a lot like everybody kind of just sees like his like him knocking a lot of guys out, but his jiu-jitsu is really solid. Uh yeah, that's a tough one for me to call. Uh I got a lot of love for Alexander Volkanovski. Got a lot of love for him. Like he actually watches a lot of this shit. Like he actually does. I remember I was talking about the Max Holloway and Alex Volkanovski fight, and then afterwards, I think it was in Dallas. He saw me, met me, like he was like, "Hey man, like I hear like," and we start talking. He starts telling me, he's like, "Man, I really love what you were saying and all that stuff. Like I hear it, and you understand." It's like, "Man, I really I was like, "Oh shit." I was like, "Holy shit, Alexander's talking to me." I was like, "Fuck, that's crazy," but also at the same time, Diego Lopez is the homie, man. I got a lot of love for Alexander Volkanovski, but this is another one of those where I'm just like I can't. I'm not picking against Diego. Diego's a homie, man. He had Irene Aldana send a voice note to my mom, so that was the coolest thing. This was like years ago, so like after once you do that from like once you do something from my mom, or my mom's gonna be like, oh my gosh, like nah, bro, like you're like I'm team Diego, I'm team Brandon, so so like that there's no going backs on that.
Yeah, I saw that you wanted to go train with them. Or I don't know if you have already, but that you wanted to move over to Mexico to train with them.
Oh yeah, I definitely would like to go over a lot more. Uh I am going to Mexico City this Sunday. I'm going to be pretty much I'm going to be a part of Marino's camp, and then I'm staying an extra week cuz I think Diego's going to Mexico City, so I'll be there for any looks if need be or anything like that. I just want to see Diego like succeed. I just want to see him win. Like that's where my mindset is with both these guys. Like Brandon, I just want to see Brandon succeed. I want to see Diego succeed. And I'm like I can't wait. Like I really can't wait.
Yeah, dude, I'm pretty excited for those fights. All right, two more fights here. John Jones, Tom Aspinall.
Man, yeah. I'm not gonna go against John Jones just because he's like everybody's always gonna pull up the age factor, and everybody's always gonna pull up the power factor from Tom. But John Jones has been fighting at the highest level for so many years. So many years. He's pretty much fucked up like three different generations of guys, So it's like it's hard for me to pick against John Jones. My caveat is that it always puts an asterisk next to his name because of the steroid abuse and all that stuff. So that's the part that kind of like I look at him, it's like, fuck. But if I'm gonna be like the devil's advocate, like Tom Aspinall he's shown to have a good blast double, and the times he got somebody to the ground, he's been able to submit him. So it's like he might have a worthy competitor in front of him and Tom. So uh, it's gonna be a tough fight, and it's kind of like well, this is also the thing that I kind of find interesting too, is because Jones switched up a style a little bit against Stipe. He actually started trying to strike for speed instead of just trying to strike for accuracy. Like his kicks came out a lot faster, his punches came out a lot faster, like a lot sharper as well too. So I was looking at that, I was like, damn, that is a lot different from like his past fights, because I always felt like his striking was always good and always different, but I just never saw the speed on it. Like it always felt like he was kind of moving lethargically, because I felt like he could move faster. Especially when it came to like to the wrestling, like in those wrestling exchanges, a lot of stuff that he would do with like a speed intensity. He and like in the grappling exchanges, he wasn't doing it in the striking, but I felt like he could pull it off in the striking. And that fight with Stipe Miocic, man, he was out there. He threw him, and he threw him fast, and he was out like he was a way faster guy in that fight. Uh, so I wouldn't even necessarily say Tom Aspinall would have a speed advantage or anything like that. He might have the power advantage, but yeah, I'll go John. I'm like 100%. I'll go back to what I said at the beginning. I don't go. I'm not going to go against John Jones.
Oh yeah. All right, in boxing here,
Huh?
Terrence Crawford, Canelo Alvarez.
Man, there's weight classes for a reason, and I love Crawford. I love watching him fight. Anytime I go running, I put on his fight with Errol Spence, and I'll run. Like it's just a good fight. Uh, but Canelo, man, hits really hard, and the way I kind of look at it is that if if that guy that Terrence Crawford fought at 154 was able, like, if Crawford's gonna go southpaw on Canelo, like I see what you kind of see what happens whenever like he was at 154. He that last guy he fought, I think the guy made it a closer fight than what it was supposed to be. And he was landing the straight right on Crawford repeatedly. Like, and I'm just like, well, what happens with the 168 Canelo, who's put out light heavyweights, So it's kind of just like, yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't know. I see that and I'm just like, I'm just gonna go. I'm gonna go Canelo. Don't get me wrong. I love there's weight classes for a reason. There's like, again, for me, I'm not jumping up to 155. Like, I'm not jumping up two weight classes because even though his last fight was at 154, he would still have to jump over 160 to get to 168. So that right there is a 14-pound difference right there, just straight off the bat. And Canelo be cutting cutting so much weight to make that weight. So it's like, it's a uphill battle you got going for you, Crawford. But if he does it, he does it. He go out there, he's one of the greatest of all times.
Hell yeah. All right, 4 more questions here, and I'll let you get out of here.
Yeah.
Top 5 boxers in the UFC.
Top 5 boxers in the UFC. I will put, just because I can't put Max Holloway at 1 anymore, because of that fight with Topuria. I'll put Topuria at 1. I will put Max Holloway at number 2. Number 3, uh fuck, there's a lot of good ones. Number 3, number 3, number 3, number 3. They have to be active?
Nah, you can just do
Okay.
whatever you want.
Yeah, because I think I'm just starting to think of starting to think of like older guys. He didn't, like, his career, like, he was, like, I guess the best way to explain, he was more of a gatekeeper. But I did like the way Ross Pearson boxed a lot. Like, I did love it a lot. Like, a lot of head movement, weaving, and all that stuff. He just consistently plotted in with the weave. I thought that was super cool. I'll probably put him at 5. I'll put at number 3. Who else would I put there? Uh, fuck that. This is hard. This is really, really hard. Uh, you know, if we're just talking hand specifically, I'd go GSP. Like, GSP, when, like, cause he had a phenomenal jab. Number 4, mm, I'd probably go Anderson Silva, just because he was able to go and compete in some boxing matches as well too. He also beat Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. You know what? Let me take Ross Pearson out, and I'm gonna put in fuck, he's another good one. Who is another good one? Shit, dude. It was off the top of my head.
Ronda
You know
Rousey.
what? You know what? I'll use the other megastar. I'll go Connor. I'll just do
Okay.
Connor. Yeah.
All right. All right. MMA around Mount Rushmore, but you can't include GSP, John Jones, Anderson Silva, or Demetrius Johnson.
Okay. So you said I can't. Demetrius Johnson, Anderson Silva, John Jones, and GSP. I can't use those 4.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. That should be easier for me. 100%. I would put Hoist Gracie on there. Chuck Liddell. Well, you can switch in Chuck Liddell and Tito Ortiz, both inner swap. Uh, but for this purposes, I'm gonna say just Chuck Liddell, and then I'm gonna go Ronda Rousey, and then after that, the last one's Connor, just because Hoist got us started. Chuck Liddell was the face of another generation, like the generation right after those guys, and then Ronda Rousey, the generation of like women starting to fight in the UFC, and then after, like, they were kind of close to the same spot, but Connor took it and like put it on another level, you know. So yeah, I'd put those 4, not for fighting sense, but for like, hey,
Impact.
like the popularity of the UFC and everything.
Yeah. Okay. If you can give yourself one piece of advice at the beginning of your career, what would you say? Or what
Take
would
the
you
red
change?
pill. No, honestly, I would be what would I change? What would I change? What would I change? It would be fuck. Like it damn, it's I don't know. I don't know what I would change. I would probably say honestly I'd probably say to I probably would have like committed a lot sooner and took in a couple like man I don't know. Like that is a fucking hard one. I'd probably like advice or I just probably would just go back and tell myself, like on a hard day that I've had, I'd probably just go out there and tell myself like, hey, like just keep going. You don't see it now, but you'll see it later. That's probably what I would tell myself. I wouldn't. There's not much I would change other than telling myself like, "Hey, invest in Bitcoin." Like, that's about it. I would like fighting wise, like you know, fo- yeah, keep doing what you're doing. Follow your heart. That be it. You know,
All
because
right.
it's not
And then
much.
last, now you're good, dude. Last question here. All right. This is kind of a deep one, but
Yeah.
you've been very open about your losses, of your father and your coach. Even assessing your loss against Rob Font and Jonathan Martinez, you're very open. You're very self-aware. I mean, you're pretty vulnerable for for your career or for your profession. You stand in your underwear in the middle of an arena in front of
Oh
thousands of
yeah.
people, in front of millions all over the world, right? You've had basically every reason to fall down a dark path, after your losses, whether it's personal or professional. What advice would you give someone that is going through a loss, either similar to yours or just in their own right, to just kind of stay on the right path and keep going?
Well, like for me, it was kind of like everything kind of happened for the reason on my end, and it was like I can see where people would fall off. Like it makes me a little bit more like understanding where people are coming from. Like again, like when my father passed, like that took me down a dark path. Like again, like that, I didn't know how to handle any of that or anything that was going on, or even how to like manage myself. So for me, like handling the stuff with my dad, I turned to alcohol, and a lot of people don't know, but I was kind of an alcoholic for the longest time. I couldn't be around it. Like there was a lot of times where I was drinking. I was drinking a lot. It was not good. It was not good. I would have fights coming up and I'd still be drinking. I'd still be doing everything. Like I just didn't really care. Uh, and then but like again, it was just the fighting and then like having the aspirations of doing something, uh I also would think of like what would the person that cared about me who passed on, what would they think about it? Like for my dad would have been upset with me doing what turning to pretty much like keeping like the curse going. My dad was an alcoholic and that's how he dealt with all of his stuff and early on whenever I was alive. Thank God he quit, like he was able to become sober, but uh he'd be upset with the way all that had turned out. So that made me be like, nah, for my dad, like I can't let my dad's legacy be like this, or I can't let my coach Saul's legacy be like this. So that gave me extra like, no, I'm gonna continue going. Just because like something pops up doesn't mean I stop. You know, there's always gonna be like something that's gonna tell you no. There's always gonna be something that kind of like makes you feel like you can't do it, but like at the end of the day, like there's nothing really stopping you, like if you have something, if you want to go achieve a goal, like there's nothing stopping you. Especially nowadays, there's information you go, like you could become like three like John Jones, like 3 years in MMA, I think becomes a world champion right after that, right? It's like, bro, like there's a lot of these guys who are like making themselves out nothing. Look at fucking Francis Ngannou. Like Ngannou is a millionaire now. Like he came from nothing, you know. Like you just gotta find inspirations. Look around, man. It's not all doom and gloom. There's people around you that you can take inspiration from, man. Like there's so much. There's absolutely so much, and if I can be an inspiration to you, that's cool. You know, that's cool. And that it's not my it's not what I'm trying to do, but you know, if you can do that, you know, then that's cool. You know, but like it's just working through it, man. Again, like I think there's a lot of times where it could have went south for me, but thank God for me having the right, like at the right moment where I feel like everything's about to fucking just be fucking shit up a wall, or like just be like fucking like burning a house down. I'm fucking, you know, I'm able to like say something or talk to somebody. So that would probably be my biggest advice is look look around you. It's not all doom and gloom. And then also talk to people. Like talk to people, man. Like again, like you can find help even if you have to pay for it, man. There's therapy out there, man. If you have good enough, like you have good friends, you know, you can talk to them, man, for free. So you got family, talk to your family, man. But if you have no access to any of that, hey, bro, there's hotlines you can call, there's therapists you can call, and all that stuff, you know. So it can be pretty dark, man, but just know there's light at the end of the tunnel.
All right, man. Well, I appreciate you being open and vulnerable about that. I just want to say again, thanks for stopping by. You're the first fighter I've interviewed. You didn't have to do this. You're a
Oh yeah,
pretty humble guy. Just know in this household, you'll always have a couple fans here for sure.
hell yeah.
Your friends and family and your teammates are lucky to have you. And best of luck in your next fight and the rest of your career, man.
Thank you, brother. Thank you, brother.
Yeah, man.
Hell yeah. Go open up that Dustin Poirier's hot sauce, man. It's good.
I haven't tried it yet. It's just sitting
Yeah,
there.
that is good, man.
Yeah.
Shoot,
My,
have a good
I'm
one,
not I'm
brother.
not much of a hot sauce guy, dude. I'm a
Oh,
pussy when it comes to spices though. So
oh no,
my gr-
that's the KO'd edition. Oh, my fat ass can read this.
yeah, no, it is. My girl's like, oh, let's try them. I was like, nah, it's for the
I,
props. Sorry.
yeah, I got you.
All right, man.
All
Appreciate it, and
right,
have a good rest of your day, man.
you too, bro.
All right, dude. Thank you.